Hello and welcome to my newest video featuring the Army Painter speed paint markers. We are doing some experimentation today. I'd like to see how these can wet blend together, creating some really cool textures and things like that. The frog STL that we are using today is what I 3D printed from Hellbender Museum on myminifactory. I really love realistic creatures, so this is what we're painting with speed paint markers today. I wanted to see if I could stretch these into more realistic textures, blending in those colors like on frog skin. The markers that I'm using today, starting with Pallid Bone. This is a nice like sepia, kind of like off-white color. It looks brown, but it dries a lot lighter. So with speed paint markers, you do tend to have to start with the lightest and then go into the darkest because you can't really highlight with speed paint markers at all. So I wanted to kind of give this a try. And the way that I did prep the model was I did some underpainting of black, just black paint, and then I did dry brush some white, ivory, and yellow over top of his black skin prime. This model also has some lumps and bumps and some hard texture that I was wanting to see if the speed paint marker would be kind of resilient over that, especially the tip of the speed paint marker. I was pleasantly surprised by the end of it that the tips did remain intact, which is good for longevity of using these markers. And don't mind, the frog did break a finger. He is missing a finger on his left hand. Frogs have hands, right? Arms, legs, yeah. So he is missing a toe, but that's okay. We're just doing some experimenting. We're seeing how this goes. Just painting the highest points on his body with that light. Like I said, you can't go lighter unless you dry brush or do any kind of opaque layering on top of speed paints. So I'm not doing that this video. I really wanted to see how far I could stretch the speed paint markers. You do press it into the cap to release more of the paint. So that is what I am doing there. When it feels like it's not coming out well enough, just put it back in the cap and press down and it'll release more paint into the tip of the marker. Overall, a really great color to start with. I'm really happy with how that's looking. Next up, we have this color. I know what it is. I can see it. It's brown. It's a brown. I wanted to move this brown kind of across the body while the Pallid Bone was wet. A lot of the speed paints, you know, they do take a little bit longer to dry, which is actually really convenient for blending in the edges together. So I'm taking this brown and moving it across the stomach and into that Pallid Bone. Across flat surfaces, it feels like the speed paint markers still work really well. Obviously, they work well with, you know, lumps and bumps and areas for it to like kind of pool to create those shadows. But across flat surfaces, it's actually working really well too. It gives just enough movement across that there's no streaks and no lines left when it dries. The fun thing about creatures in nature is you don't really have to follow too much of a specific pattern. This is a leaf frog, so there's a lot of leeway with different colors and blending that you can do on, you know, realistic animals. And that's what I enjoy. It's a little bit more freestyle. You can kind of just lump and dot and stipple and crosshatch wherever, and it makes a really cool texture. There we go. Now we got some green. Absolution green. There, I know the name of that one. Now, are all frogs green? No. Do they have some green? Sometimes. I just like the thought of adding some green to this guy. We're just kind of, again, playing with color, moving, wet blending things in together to see what we can come up with. Mottled texture. We got some stippling. Again, the coverage is really, really great. I've been really enjoying just how much color these pens have. Don't forget the froggy bum. I wanted to let it dry in between coats, so that was its base coat being finished. Now I'm going to go in with a hair dryer. I dried them all up, and now I'm going to go in with some more yellow tones. So this is Sand Golem. I wanted to add some more browns and yellows to really make some contrast, give this guy some visual interest. Frogs, as we know, they are multiple colored. Very interesting to look at. So why not add some of that onto my frog? Speed paint markers could be really great for young people, kids, different things like that, don't have the dexterity to really get into those small details clearly. It can be really handy for large models such as this. Speed paint markers, and you can even get like blank empty marker containers and then fill it with acrylic paint too. So that could be an option too if you have kids that are interested in miniature painting but don't have the dexterity quite to move the brush the way that is sometimes required on smaller miniatures. So think about it. Empty marker cases are a thing. You can fill it with acrylic paints, but speed paints are good too. Overall, I'm liking the coverage again, layering the different colors. It's working really, really well. I'm getting a lot of like nice texture, nice color, good blends. I also like to use my finger. So sometimes, especially if I'm doing natural creatures such as this, if I use my finger just to kind of blend out the edges or even just to pull up a little bit of that paint, it actually is really fun. It's like a really fun way to get some color on there, some dotting, some texture. Just use your finger. Now getting in there with the shadows, like I want to add more shadows to some of the ridges along his back, using the speed paint marker to really bring out those details. The funny thing is this video is not meant to be a tutorial of any kind. It's just kind of me playing around and experimenting with speed paint markers and seeing how well they blend and move together, experimenting with some colors and seeing how they layer. So if you did want a tutorial, there are so many online on YouTube, especially with the Army Painter Factory team members. They have so many different kinds of tutorials, and we have an online academy as well with the Army Painter. So if you have any questions about speed paints, you can always go to the Facebook page, you can always check Instagram, or you can go onto the website and see what they got for information. One thing I love about frogs are their eyes. So I find if the model becomes a little overwhelming, I like to focus on other things. I like to paint the eyes. I just did a black base coat, and now I'm going in with an opaque acrylic war paint. We're using sunburst ochre with a little bit of white to tone it down a bit, just to get that orangey kind of color, nice and bright as my base coat. But as you can see with the close-up of the frog, the skin texture is looking really cool. I am very pleased with how the texture of the skin is coming through with those speed paint markers. I did add a little bit more of speed paint on top of the base coat just because everything, the speed paint has given it a kind of a satin sheen. And so I wanted to continue that sheen on his eyes as well. So I didn't want them to be too matte. So I continued on with the speed paint marker over top of that base coat, going back in with, I believe it's called, Wasteland Clay. So that is another opaque War Paint Fanatic color. And we're making the pupil and the iris and everything on this frog. Lots of dots, lots of stippling. Frogs have really cool eyes. There's lots of dots in them. Very, very interesting looking eyes. I really enjoy frog eyes. There you go. That is looking pretty good for done for as fast as this was. And that's why they call them speed paint markers, because you paint faster. No, so this this didn't take very long. It took about 20 minutes to really kind of get some of that texture and those colors out on the model. I would have loved to highlight this, but like I said, I was just experimenting with speed paints. I would have loved to use some more opaque paints to really get some of that detail out, to really bring up those raised edges. Some highlighting is definitely necessary, as well as maybe even use some washes to get into those cracks and crevices and bring it down in a depth of shadow. But overall, thanks for painting with me today. Have a great one. We'll see you soon.